I'm talking to Cyril Pereira at the Den Haag Summit for Accountability in the Digital Age. And we were on a nice panel about journalism and what needed to be done to basically have a future for journalism. Where are you located?
I'm located in Hong Kong.
Interesting times, we normally say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting times.
Yeah. What do you do there?
I do media consulting and especially data journalism, which is something quite talked about but not implemented in newspapers.
Yeah. I saw a beautiful paper with fantastic illustration. I mean,
Graphics?
and beautiful graphics, infographic. Is it also online available?
Yes, it's available online.
Yeah. Okay. So you basically and you talk about really important problems: education and health, education, pension,
Medical.
water, medical, and you basically get all the numbers
Yeah.
for that. For which organization are you doing that?
That is for the China Daily Hong Kong edition.
Okay. And who owns that paper?
That paper is owned by the government of the People's Republic of China.
Okay. And they're doing useful thing. This
Very
is
useful
useful.
thing.
Yeah.
In fact, this is only happening in the Hong Kong edition,
Yeah.
and it's all about issues of Hong Kong society that need to be solved, can be solved,
Yeah.
but needs political leadership and,
And long-term vision.
and long-term vision.
Okay. And so you work for that. You work for that organization, and that works fine in Hong Kong. They do a good, positive job.
Very positive job,
Yeah.
very useful job.
Yeah.
And what we do in data journalism, investigation and reporting and analysis is to add good graphics so people understand the issues immediately.
Yeah, I can understand that. So you've been in the media forever, right? I mean, you're just really one of the old good guys who basically wrote for very good magazines and that kind. What is the problem nowadays with digital and the journalists?
Essentially, the consumers now have more or less free news. They don't have to pay for it. They can get Google News, Yahoo News, and so many aggregators, and Facebook.
Yeah.
And the mobile phone is the primary tool
Yeah.
for casual online news.
Yeah.
And the habit,
Let me check my news. Yeah.
and the habit in online news is
Yeah. Short-term news.
short-term news.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, once you're on social networks and the way the AI algorithms are written
Yeah.
by the platforms, they want to send you what you like.
Yeah.
And
Wow, what a concept. I get what I like. I get news, what I find interesting. That sounds like a real positive thing, but you say it seems like really something really nasty.
well, if you're talking about a society's issues, you need perspectives that cover more than a narrow, limited perspective. You need,
Like my own.
you need balance. You need to know what is a different point of view, a different opinion.
Yeah.
And the online media tends, because of the algorithms, to actually enclose you in a cocoon, in
The
a
bubble. We all live in our bubble, and okay.
which does not help citizens.
No. But I mean, if you look at television, it did the same thing, right? If you look at Fox News in America or you look at MSNBC, you basically get only your own bubble news.
You're right. Uh, but because of that, is that the right thing?
No. But I mean, I think it's more also a problem for you because of the business model. The business model changed. Nobody pays for paper anymore. So the whole economical basis under journalism has changed.
For the traditional print guys, the ship has been sinking for quarter century already,
Yeah.
and they are still paddling until the final thing goes.
Yeah.
But their hope of making money online didn't materialize. Online money is made by the big giant portals,
Yeah.
Google, Facebook, and what was very negative for journalism was online editors had to meet traffic statistics had to have high rankings, had to have uh, viral
Yeah,
potential.
clickbait,
Yeah,
clickbait everywhere. So the quality went down, and
yeah,
the economic basis of the traditional media disappeared.
yeah.
Okay. So what's the solution? Is there a solution you have, or is journalism just, going to be short term, just basically go after clickbait, and that's basically how we're going to run a society?
No, I think you have examples of responsible online journalism, like ProPublica and other people like that.
The correspondent, we have the correspondent,
Yeah,
which is
in Netherlands,
in the
yes.
Netherlands, but it also is now in America. So that's paid journalism. You pay
Yeah.
50, 60 euro, and there's no advertisement
And
and no clickbait.
no clickbaits, no negative distractions.
Yeah.
And for people who want objective, good journalism, willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's the model.
Yeah. But that was the old model. We had a subscription base and a little bit of advertising. That ship has sailed.
No, no.
So
No, advertising was 80% of print media revenues. Yes, advertising, classifieds especially,
oh, yeah.
and display.
Yeah.
And that was, subscriptions were hardly 12, 15%.
Oh,
It was
okay.
never
So
big.
it was the classifieds which killed
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
media. But I mean, there's teeny peeny little examples of people who want to pay for real good news and long reads and that kind of stuff. But it's very very little. How will society in 10 years be? Will we explode like America, basically going totally going both sides, and being totally opposite?
I think America is a unique case
Yeah.
of a society that has very little concept of anything outside its borders,
Okay.
and only about 15% of Americans have even a passport,
Yeah.
and yet they have such power over the whole planet. It's a case, as a professor from Singapore told me, uh, the most of the consumers in America have no interest in international issues,
True.
and they ignore it.
Yeah.
But
They influence us every day, left,
But-
right, and center. Yeah.
but the military establishment is equally ignorant of international issues, but fully engaged.
What is our hope for the next 10 years?
I think
You don't have to have hope. If we're just doomed, that's fine too.
no. I think accountability has to come into content online, and the Hague Conference is very much about that. It is possible with the technology today to actually identify sources and have transparency about who is writing for which publication,
Okay.
who owns it, etc.
So you think that should be in a track and trail that you
Yeah.
basically can see where the information comes from, who's
Yeah.
who's writing it, the identity of the owner.
So the consumer, the serious consumer, should be able to know where is this coming from. Are there conflicts of interest?
But not the serious consumer. The AI algorithm needs to use it to basically make decisions. And who makes the AI algorithm? Do you think that should be the platforms, or should governments basically dictate that for us?
This is the very interesting question that has come up in this conference. Who decides the AI programming criteria?
Yeah.
At the moment, it's done by the giant
Who
technical,
optimize for advertising?
yeah,
Yeah.
who basically are designing it to earn big bucks from commercial companies.
No.
They are not designing it for the
Society,
end,
no.
end consumer. No.
Okay.
And I think we now need to get regulators like the EU and other places
Yeah.
to insist on accountability of content.
Okay. In Hong Kong, how's the press doing?
It's very lively, but dying slowly
Economically.
economically. But in
And in
terms,
terms of voices, about all the different voices, which are they still heard?
they have a whole spectrum of opinions, left,
No
right,
problems
center.
there.
So far, no.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, that was good.